What if the constant pursuit of a comfortable life is a modern form of slavery, where the system uses you as a resource and then discards you like a used battery? Delivery services, cars and household appliances are supposed to improve our lives, but what if in reality they turn people into slaves and break their destinies? Why does society want to break you? How does evolution make us slaves? And most importantly, how can you win this fight and become free? Today you will learn about the dark side of the comfort zone. Comfortable conditions have not always been the norm in human life. In fact, for most of our history it was quite the opposite. Let's look at our ancestors. People in the past had to travel great distances to find food, risking their lives without any guarantees of success. Once they obtained food, they had to make the same journey back to a safe cave or settlement, now carrying their prey, the scent of which could attract dangerous predators. Much of a caveman's life was spent in constant physical exertion. There were no supermarkets or food delivery services. If you didn't hunt or find food, you simply died. Living in a constantly hostile environment, our ancestors developed a natural desire for safety and comfort as a survival mechanism. Those who mastered it could continue their lineage and pass on their genes. Thus, the drive for comfort became a driver of progress, as those who rested better had later more energy to survive. Comfort became a primary goal for humans. Millions of years of evolution burned the idea into our brains that comfort equals survival. This is how modern civilization formed. Most modern inventions and social benefits were created to improve life comfort. Fast forward to the modern world, where in most developed societies there is no problem with food or safety. We have been living in a world of relatively constant comfort for less than a century, quite new experience for human as a species. This time is insufficient to change evolutionary mechanisms that developed over millions of years. Humans were not designed to sit all day in front of computer screens. Our bodies are tools for hunting and physical survival. Modern people have more comfort than kings of the past. However, despite all that, modern person is constantly depressed and frustrated. But why? Many parents who face difficulties in life strive to make their children super successful by overloading them with studies and strict schedule. As a result, children lose touch with themselves, unable to distinguish their true desires from those of their parents, and enter adulthood without sufficient independence in thinking and actions. Conversely, some parents try to create ideal conditions for their children who then lack independence. Absolute permissiveness and catering to a child's desires lead to a focus on simple pleasures and a lack of motivation for achievements. These demonstrate that both overly comfortable and excessively challenging conditions can have negative effects on a person. Optimal development requires a balanced environment, one that offers challenges without being so difficult as to induce discouragement. We live in a cultural system that instills in us false values so that we continue to serve its needs, not our own. The problem with modern civilization is that our life become too comfortable, and it harms our bodies, minds and spirits. An unnatural lifestyle destroys our personality, fueled by corporations whose income depends on people's pursuit of comfort and hyperconsumption. They make us believe that a plant-like existence is the pinnacle of our dreams. There's nothing wrong with the human desire for comfort. It is a natural instinct for survival, but the way this desire is exploited leads to broken destinies and wasted lives. Each nation, company and individual has their own ideas about the world and what is needed for happiness and success. Modern capitalist economies require endless consumption and growth. To sustain this growth, systems and mechanisms embed false desires and needs in us, creating an illusion of comfort and safety that doesn't truly exist. Thus, we spend our lives chasing things that do not bring true satisfaction. The comfort zone is neither good nor bad, it just exists. How you use it depends entirely on you. Imagine a person who has been going to a hated job for years. He doesn't enjoy it, but this is his comfort zone. Over time, people get used to any conditions and make themselves believe that their life isn't so bad. They continue working a hated job with a low salary and an abusive boss. This self-deception leads to depression, serious illnesses, and the feeling that life was wasted. But they don't think about it now, because all the pain can be dulled by watching another series or playing video games. The comfort zone sucks a person in. The more you seek simple pleasures, the more they make you their slave. When you spend the whole day watching movies, playing games and eating junk food, how likely is that you will suddenly get up and start doing something productive? The cumulative effect can last for years and even a lifetime. Eventually, a moment of clarity may come in the middle age when a 40-year-old failure with a health problem problems and no money, no achievements, looks back and realizes that his life has gone nowhere. There is even bigger problem. In endless pleasure seeking and hyperconsumption, people lose the most important thing. They lose themselves. It becomes difficult to distinguish their own true desires from those imposed by consumer society. This leads to pervasive psychological problems, midlife crisis, and lack of enjoyment in life. People stop understanding why they exist and lose meaning. In attempts to compensate, they consume more and surround themselves with more comfort, creating a vicious cycle where comfort leads to more frustration and a greater desire to compensate with even more comfort. Meanwhile, social media amplifies the sense of inadequacy by showing idealized happy lives. Celebrities, actors, and influencers smile from their Instagram accounts, often living nothing like what they show. They pretend making money from their followers, but they are also losers because they are slaves of the system they work for. They spend their earnings on satisfying same primitive material desires. People sell their freedom and time for money, which they spend on things to impress people they don't like. Over time, they notice that another expensive car no longer brings the same joy as before. Weeks go by and they no longer care about their new phone. They want the more expensive one. The most pleasant memories remain from childhood, when they hadn't yet burned out their dopamine receptors with endless consumption and the pursuit of comfort. Modern society emphasizes having things, money, power. However, true human happiness lies in not having, but in being. To be means to exist here and now, to enjoy the moment, not to strive for endless accumulation of material goods. This leads to people becoming slaves to their desires and material needs, losing touch with themselves and their true values. Being here and now, living in the moment, it's easy to say, but what does it really mean? It means fully immersing yourself in the present experience, not allowing your mind to wander into the past or future. It's about being aware of your surroundings, your thoughts, and your feelings in the current moment and accepting them without judgment. This practice of mindfulness and presence can bring greater clarity and peace. In reality, once you understand what part of your personality is truly yours and which is imposed by consumer society, you won't have to make any effort for this. A person who is honest with itself, who lives in harmony with its inner nature, is always in the moment. They don't need to escape harsh reality into dreams, drown sorrow in alcohol, or distract themselves with short videos. Thus, we face a global problem skillfully fueled by large capital owners to increase their wealth. People traumatized by evolution and having easy access to endless material goods voluntarily jump into this trap. We can't save everyone. The system has already irreversibly brainwashed the majority of its victims. We can only help those who still have a drop of awareness and doubt. A few unbroken individuals sense that the world around them is fundamentally false, and they are right. We live in a prison with walls built from our own beliefs and values. This prison is so carefully designed that we don't even realize we are confined. We think that consumption and accumulation of material goods are the keys to happiness, but in reality it's an illusion that keeps us in slavery. Most people will remain in its trap forever, and despite millions of views on self-development and productivity videos, most viewers will never achieve their goals. Look around and you will almost certainly find someone in your circle who has repeatedly tried to quit smoking and failed. Someone who has tried to lose weight, go to the gym, or promise themselves a fresh start every year. The core of modern slavery is that it's voluntary. Every day and every minute you choose what thoughts to think, what actions to do, and what content to consume. Okay, we understand that we are in a trap, that the world around us is a matrix trying to implant false values into our heads. But how do we escape this trap? The path to liberation lies through recognizing our true values and goals, not those imposed by the system. The internet is full of success gurus who recommend adding useful habits to your life, like waking up early, taking cold showers, and reading useful books. But none of this works. How many times have you tried to introduce these useful habits recommended by every other YouTube video? Did it change your life? Did you become a millionaire after watching another video on how to become rich in 5 minutes? I highly doubt it. The human brain works differently. It won't just start doing something uncomfortable without a very good reason to expend a lot of energy on unfamiliar actions. To achieve something, you need long-term, focused work in one direction. You don't need results in 5 minutes. Quick success is a false concept. You need to know know yourself and understand what you want. Leave society with its desires and rat races behind. Spend time alone and ask yourself what you truly want. To come out victorious from this struggle, modern humans need to learn to listen to themselves. But to hear this quiet inner voice, you need to ignore the noise from the crowd. The main secret is that you don't have to leave the comfort zone. You don't have to artificially force yourself doing some unpleasant things. Everything you need is already inside you. Millions of years of evolution have modified and improved your ancestor genome. You just need to awaken these forces within yourself. Stop watching endless motivational videos. Stop inventing artificial obstacles that don't exist in reality. Nature, God, the universe, call it what you want, has already figured everything out for you. This world has no ready answers. You are the answer. Stop thinking in cliches or looking for a secret formula that will make you successful. So I ask you again,
What do you